So today we're going to do a timed writing. What's nice is we've already read the story, so you won't have to take the time to read those stories, which would normally be part of what you would have to do for air. One nice thing, though, is generally, from what I understand, you would get an excerpt, maybe not the whole story. But I think we're lucky to work with the whole story because we get to see the way the themes play out from beginning to end. So today the prompt is using Dr. Heidegger's experiment and The Big Trip Up Yonder in a multi-paragraph essay, explain how the two authors use character actions to develop their themes. Be sure to incorporate support, which needs to be cited properly, from both sources, and don't rely too heavily on one source. Some of the language we put in there, cited properly, don't rely too heavily on one source, might not be in your real prompt. Certainly the cited properly, it's likely to not be in the prompt, though I think some prompts will tell you this. Regardless, you don't want to rely too heavily on one source. Because of the nature of this prompt, that's not going to happen anyway. So when you think about how you're going to organize this, we have two different texts. So we'll probably do two different body paragraphs. One body paragraph for each text. So a smart thing to do might be to type the word intro, body, conclusion. And then you can delete these after you've written them. If you're somebody who needs to maybe put intro, bridge, thesis, you can always do that. I would go ahead and set it up, though, kind of plan it out. Now, your thesis is going to be a TQAA of the prompt. So Dr. Heidegger's experiment and the big trip up yonder, and we have explained how the two authors use character actions to develop their theme. So we might say, in Dr. Heidegger's experiment and the big trip up yonder, the authors use character actions to develop their themes. See how easy that is? I would go ahead and use the authors' names in the thesis as well. Dr. Heidegger's experiment by Nathaniel Hawthorne, The Big Trip Up Yonder by Kurt Vonnegut. So in this first one, the first body paragraph, we have to talk about how the author used character actions to develop the themes. So start with your topic sentence, right? What are you claiming here? Well, you're claiming that in The Big Trip Up Yonder, or Dr. Heidegger's experiment, whichever one you want to do first, the author used character actions to develop the themes, right? Well, everybody needs to be iced. So you might type your topic sentence, and then you might type ice, like so. And then you might do the same for this body to remind yourself that you've got to do this. And of course, again, you delete your acronym after you've filled it in. My recommendation, of course, is that you do two of these. You need two different pieces of evidence explained, all going back to the theme. So what I might do in my body paragraph for my topic sentence is not only claim that the author uses character actions to develop the themes, I might name the theme. Nathaniel Hawthorne uses character actions to develop the theme of blank and fill in that theme. You need to do the same thing down here. Let's say the big trip up yonder, and notice that I put quotation marks around short stories. Okay, uses character actions to develop the theme. And you can choose which theme you'd like to do, of selfishness, of outward appearance, being valued too highly at the expense of developing good character. You can decide what theme you want to say is developed. Same thing with Dr. Heidegger's experiment. We talked about a theme of not learning from our mistakes, but that doesn't mean that's the theme that you necessarily have to go with. The most important thing is that you ice evidence. Don't forget when you cite, since you've already named the author and the title, all you need to do, since this one does have page numbers, is stick a page number behind it. A really important thing to remember, we need transitions, right? So we know that if we move in this case, we're talking about two different texts, but if we move within the body paragraph from one piece of evidence to another, we know this is where we would put a transition like furthermore, or, in addition, or additionally. For example, would probably fit nicely as you, start giving evidence. Now, remember, if you are going to run out of time, like I would if I were you, start by icing one and icing the other, and then go back and ice and ice. Make sure, though, do your intro first. You can leave the hook for last, but get your thesis in there. That's the most important part. They will take away points if you don't have a hook and a bridge, so you do want to do that. And you've got to have some kind of conclusion, even if it's as simple as, one sentence if you're running out of time. But make sure you have those, because when they score you an organization, they're looking for the intro, the bodies, and the conclusion. If you can, you want a high quality conclusion, a high quality intro, high quality hook. Obviously, that's going to weigh into your score. Conclusion, remember, you can kind of refer back to the hook without repeating it and kind of end with, what does this all mean in the bigger picture for us, for the reader in our real lives? It's a great way to end, maybe with a call to action, what we should do as a result of reading this essay. So know that you can plan all of this out right in the document like this with these acronyms. And then, again, just get rid of them as you type the text in. And then, of course, make sure when you're all set, it's all said and done, that you indent, you tab each paragraph. So do your very best. Pick the best evidence that supports your theme and explain it well. Think about explanations. They should not restate in your own words what the evidence already told me. Think about the consequences. Think about the significance. What conclusions can we draw from that evidence? And for you, it's really, really important. This is where we went wrong often in earlier work. Make sure that explanation makes us understand how that evidence, how that character action actually helped to develop the theme. You've got to go back to the theme because that's what you're proving. Okay, good luck.